All right, we are out here at the base of Golden Peak, enjoying the cool, fresh air this morning. It is Wednesday, the 2nd of February, 2022. Write that on your spreadsheets today. It's going to take you a little while to figure that out. Groundhog's Day, we're going to find out if Puxatawny Phil saw his shadow this morning or not. If not, doesn't matter. We want winter at least until we close down the mountain, which isn't until April 24th. But Vail Valley Live starts now.
Hey there, happy Wednesday. Thanks so much for joining us here on February 2nd with Vail Valley Live. It is Groundhog Day, and I was just reading a little bit more about the legend of Puxatawny Phil. So, he did see his shadow, so we have 6 more weeks of winter, which of course we're very excited about here in the Vail Valley. But apparently, it's not even remotely scientific, where this whole groundhog situation came from. And apparently, it's been the same Puxatawny Phil for all 135 years of the tradition. According to the Puxatawny Groundhog Club, that's over 15 times longer than the upper end of a groundhog's typical lifespan. It's a pretty old groundhog. And also, they say that a special diet keeps Puxatawny Phil coming back each year. Apparently, they keep him immortal by feeding him groundhog punch. So, anyway, we'll learn more about Groundhog Day. We're very glad that you're joining us here on the show this morning. So we have a great one in store for you. We're going to be talking about some sparkly things, getting you ready to maybe surprise your Valentine with something beautiful. Also, we'll be over in Vail Village. Tricia's starting off in Golden Peak this morning. We're going to learn a little bit more about art in public places, which is such a really cool part of living up here in the mountains and visiting. The commitment to the public art is really next to none. And then also some eco-friendly gift ideas at Knapp Harvest. Plus, Tricia's going to be making some homemade mayo. And, of course, your headlines, your weather, your events, and so much more. So we should probably send things out to Tricia to bring her into this conversation. So Tricia, before we get into our weather, you can see there's like a little bit of snow behind you, and I know that you guys had quite the start to your morning, you and Barry.
Yes, we did. Okay, so we did get 6 inches new at Beaver Creek, 2 over at Vail. And what that means, havoc on the roads. I know that the chain laws are already in effect for East and West Eisenhower Tunnel, also on Vail Pass. So that's for the big rigs. For the cars, the vehicles, that's the traction law is in effect. And this means that you need to have some kind of good tread on your tires. Don't be going out there in bald tires. It can cost you a pretty penny if you are fined. And so it's just worth it to just invest in snow tires because you're keeping yourself and everyone around you safe. And I say this because as we were rolling almost into Dow Junction, we were just a little bit past Eagle Vale. A big white pickup truck just started fishtailing in front of us, and he did about a 180 and he came to rest facing eastbound. He was going westbound. The snowbank actually stopped him, prevented him from rolling. I think he would have rolled because he was going pretty fast. So, slow it down out there, allow plenty of distance between you and the car ahead of you, the vehicle ahead of you. That's what we did. We were able to let off the gas, give him a little space. We went off to the right. And yeah, your heart gets pumping quite a bit when you see that. So no coffee, tea, any kind of caffeine this morning. We are adrenaline up after that.
I'm just so glad you guys made it safely, and thank goodness for some North Dakota slash years of Vail driving skills to put into play this morning. And I think it is a little bit is a little bit of a misconception that you can go super fast. I mean, coming in from Eagle this morning, we were probably going around 55, 60, and a 75. And the roads don't seem like they're that bad. So I think that's where you start to get that confidence up. You can start to get that speed going, and then whoop, next thing you know. So thank you so much for letting us know, first of all, that you got there safely, and also just some good driving tips out there. Okay, we're going to come back to you here in just a minute.
No cap.
Oh, what are you doing?
No
Snowcat?
cap.
Oh,
we're gonna move
oh,
it out of the way
oh.
for the snowcat.
All
Hold
right,
on.
let's check
There
out
you go.
Snowcat. Oh yeah, he's all right. Well, let's talk about the weather as we look at this Snowcat. Actually, Barry, can you keep it on there? Can we see him go past you guys? So you can see that snow right there, just kind of the upper reaches of the mountain. And like Tricia was saying, so the resorts are reporting 2 inches at Vail in the last 24 hours, 6 inches at Beaver Creek, and then of course they're gonna be doing some grooming out there, which you can see the groomers rolling along the bottom of your screen there. And this weather is all provided by the outlets at Silverthorne, where you'll find some elevated savings. Man, he's hauling. Clearly he's done this a time or two. And so, for today, we're expecting some cooler temperatures for today and for tomorrow, and then we'll kind of start to warm up a little bit as we go into the weekend. But here, look at this. So we're looking at a high around 17 degrees, overnight low of -9. So again, tomorrow, very similar, high around 17, overnight low of 7. So expect to see this to kind of be the stormiest part of the week, and then we'll kind of clear up just a little bit. And maybe our next chance after this for snow will be Saturday night into Sunday. So here's a kind of an extended forecast. We're looking at high 17, 18 for Thursday. And then Friday, we get back into the 30s. Nice clear skies. Sunday, looks like we'll be seeing maybe just a little bit cooler. So anyway, got some snow in the forecast for today, and we'll see how much we actually get out of today's storm, because Joel Gratz is saying that because of the lack of moisture, we won't necessarily see like a whole lot of accumulation, maybe up to like 5 inches. We'll keep you posted. But thank you to the Alice at Silverthorne for a look at this local weather forecast. Now, if you're watching us on Facebook or on YouTube, please let us know where you're watching from this morning. Give us a little chat. I'll have to log in here in a second to see if any of you guys are lighting us up this morning. But we'd love to know where you're from. If you have any questions, that we'd like you to be part of this show. It's the best part about it is that we actually get to interact with you live. So please take advantage of that. And if you haven't subscribed to our new YouTube channel, for me, the best way, rather than like typing in some sort of like URL, just if you search Vail Valley Live, it'll pop right up. And then you can click on it, and then you can subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the action. We're live every morning at 7:30, so you can see what's going on while you're here in town. And of course, maybe make some plans and hopefully take advantage of your time to the fullest while you're here. And then of course, locally, you can also find us on Outside TV Channel 17. So good morning. Happy Groundhog Day. We're glad that you're joining us here. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have a look at your headlines. We'll also have a look at those traffic cams and so much more as we kick off your Wednesday.
Look your best with fashions from the outlets at Silverthorne. Mountains of brands to suit your style with savings up to 70% off every day. Don't forget to pick up a VIP savings card from the Colorado Welcome Center for even more discounts. Become an Elite Rewards member and earn amazing gifts. Outlets at Silverthorne, located 30 minutes east of Vail, exit 205 on I-70.
Since retirement, I've been trying a lot of new things. With Frank's Red Hot, it's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Like me. And it's great on all the recipes I've mastered. I put that on everything.
You are an electric vehicle. Electricity powers your heart. Want to feel your heartbeat faster? Drive an electric car, where the loudest sound is the beat of your electric heart. This is the new Nissan.
Just typing in Vail Valley Live on YouTube so I can see any of your comments out there. Oh, there it is. That our stream just popping right up there. Super easy. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on with your headlines. First of all, oh gosh, now I'm hearing myself. Probably should have muted that first. Okay. Let's talk about what's going on with your headlines. And of course, pairing nicely with the Vail Daily is also Vail Mountain Coffee and Tea. So if you haven't been over there, maybe pick up, a nice little London Fog, or maybe Tricia's favorite, of course, is their chai. And then we also have some really delicious blends that we have here in the studio. Like right now, we're currently on the Meadow Mountain blend. So if you're looking for some great coffee, they do ship across the country for free. So check them out at vailcoffee.com. Okay, so on the front cover of the Vail Daily this morning, we have just some people that are out enjoying some sledding on Tuesday in Avon with some of the fresh snow. And the big headline is, can the county hold the line? This is in regards to keeping rail cars filled with crude oil off the line that runs along the Colorado River. So Scott Miller really kind of dives into this. And, currently the Tennessee Pass Line, it hasn't actually been in use since 1996, but the transportation, they're worried that the transportation board could allow some use without a broader view. And then, of course, you can see one of the big pictures here is an accident that was taken in Byers Canyon in Grand County. So you can see one of those cars, spilled over toward the side of the river. So anyway, you can dig into that on page A2. Also on page A3, there's a state task force and they're issuing an affordable housing report. And so Dylan Roberts, he's an Avon Democrat. He represents Eagle and Routt counties, and he was the chair. And so he really kind of guided this conversation. And so now they have some recommendations about how to spend $400 million in federal American Rescue Plan Act money. So you can find out more about what he's recommended and how they came to that conclusion on page A3. And then moving on through on page A4, so we could potentially see about 7 inches of snow out of this system. So again, though, checking in with Joel Gratz today on opensnow.com, he's saying that because of the lack of moisture in this system, that we won't see that much accumulation. So, Vail received 2 inches last night. Beaver Creek is reporting 6 inches in the last 24 hours. So we'll see how we do throughout the day. Right now I can see, in our windows, we're just kind of seeing that light, very light snow. I had like a dusting on my car in Eagle today. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll see 7 inches out of the system. And then coming up on page A5, if you happen to love ice skating, well, unfortunately, that's not going to be happening on Avon's Nottingham Lake this year. So they just kind of dive into what's going on with the safety concerns. And so the town requires a minimum of 10 inches of black ice before opening up to the public. And unfortunately, in mid-January, the ice depth was measuring about 3 to 4 inches of white ice with several inches of snow and slush on top. So they want to make sure everybody's nice and safe, but you can find out more of that on page A5. And then Faye Golini leads the experienced U.S. team in snowboard cross. And actually, I was just chatting with Mare about this. So Mare actually knows Faye, and I've had a chance to kind of brush elbows with her at some competitions in the past. And let me just tell you this, she's so accomplished. And with snowboard cross, if you are not familiar, this is amazing to watch these athletes, right? Because we're talking about usually, you see people individually, going around some of these bank turns and going over jumps as a snowboarder in a lot of these events. But in this one, you take some of the most talented snowboarders, you line them all up next to each other, and then they are racing through the corners, through the jumps, all side by side. It gets crazy out there. And you have to have some serious focus and also some serious skills to pull it off. So anyway, you can learn more about Faye and our U.S. team as they're preparing for the Olympics. Really cool. But pick up your Vail dailies for free, always in those blue boxes, anywhere from Vail all the way down to .0. And of course, you can log on to the e-edition at vaildaily.com. So let's take a look at what's going on with the traffic out there. So Tricia was explaining how she and Barry just went through Dowd Junction and saw an accident happen right in front of their eyes. And so it's, the roads are definitely snowpacked. They're a little bit sketchy out there, but it is a little bit disarming because you can see a lot of blacktop out there. However, still really slick. So Dowd Junction is that bottom right-hand corner there, and that's where they were seeing that accident taking place on their way to get to the show. But otherwise, on Vail Pass, things are pretty quiet. Now, we have had some road closures going on just in the last probably 12 hours or so. There's definitely been some accidents. So ecalert.org is how you can get the latest of what's going on, what's closed, what's open, what's happening on the roads out there. So I'd recommend that you do that. So ecalert.org, and also make sure you're paying attention to any of those chain law restrictions over Vail Pass, like Tricia was mentioning. So that's a look at those traffic cams. And Ty Diaz, Puxatawny Phil prefix. 6 more weeks of winter. Oh, I spelled his name wrong. Good morning, Ty. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm curious about the rest of our crew and how we feel about 6 more weeks of winter. I mean, I think here we always want more weeks of winter, right? Like that's definitely something that we look forward to. So we'd be really bummed if he was like, nope, cutting it short. So anyway, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, say hello. Let us know what's going on. Let's send things back out to Tricia and see what's going on there in Golden Peak. So Tricia and Bear, you guys got over to Golden Peak, by the way, like pretty quickly this morning. We saw you on the bus and
Yeah.
it was really fast.
Yeah, you know what? We got on the bus right by the covered bridge, and they always have the time, like next bus, 3 minutes, next bus, 6 minutes. You can always decide, do you want to walk? But I think it's quicker to hop on the bus here. And then once you get to Golden Peak, you're just really steps away from the Riva Express, lift number 6, and they're getting that ready to go. Lifts will open at 8:30 on Vail Mountain, and then 9 o'clock over at Beaver Creek. We did receive 2 inches new at Vail and 6 inches new over at Beaver Creek in the last 24 hours. But the reason I thought I'd bring it over to Golden Peak this morning is, so behind me is kind of the home of the Ski and Snowboard Club Vail athletes, the kids that are just getting into the sports and the racing and all the different competitions. And they have 16 Ski and Snowboard Club athletes or alumni that are going to be at the Olympics in Beijing. So they're pretty proud of that fact. And then also this weekend, they're doing a really fun thing on Saturday. It's called the Ski and Snowboard Club Vail Family Fun Days at Golden Peak. They're doing one this Saturday, and then they're also doing one on March 27th. So what they're going to allow you to do is actually ski or ride. The public is going to be invited to ski or ride in these areas. They're going to have a dual course. They're going to have timed courses. So that's going to be fun in the morning from 10:30 till 12:30. And then in the afternoon, this is the real special part. You know that expansion they did and the T-bar that's up there? You can see it when you go up the gondola and you're like, wow, I'd love to ski that. Well, you can. They're inviting the public to come out and ski that from 2 to 3:30 up around that T-bar access. You could ski and ride there. I've heard the views are just amazing from that because you've never seen Vail and the Gore from that angle before unless you've had access up there. So that'll be this Saturday. And then afterwards, they're going to have a little opera ski party with some appetizers from up the creek and some non-alcoholic beverages over at the Ski and Snowboard Club Vail Clubhouse. And this is pretty new. I've not been in the new clubhouse, but it's just gorgeous. I've seen the pictures, I've seen the renderings. So that's just on the east side of the children's ski school. So something to consider. And they really would like you to register in advance just so they can plan for the food and plan everything going on if you want to do like the timed races. So just a little idea on something to do this Saturday.
Yeah, that's amazing to have access to that terrain and to know that you are skiing or riding in an area where our Olympians are coming from,
Yeah.
where 16 of,
Yeah.
either them or the alumni have trained. That's so cool.
And you know what? River Radamus and Tommy Ford with the U.S. ski team, they were actually just here. River, of course, an alumni from the Ski and Snowboard Club Vail. Tommy Ford, he's been in the Valley before, of course, to ski the Birds of Prey, but they were training here right before they went to Beijing. So I think that was pretty cool. And they had great accolades. They had wonderful things to say about the snow and how they'd maintained the course to get it ready and help them prepare for the games in Beijing.
That's so awesome. What very cool information, Tricia. I really appreciate that. Also, we got a little chatter. John Bonner says, "Good morning. Enjoy another beautiful day." Thank you, John. Yeah, I'm guessing you're not getting the kind of the snow in Florida like what we're seeing. No, wait, John. Yes. Wait, no, John. You're in North Carolina, right? Wait a second. I'm getting you guys mixed up. Anyway, Tricia.
Dan Elliott's Florida.
Dan's in Florida. Yes, John's in North Carolina. Okay, but Tricia, you can see that snow that's just like ever so lightly coming across the screen. So it looks like it's just very gentle. Do you see any blue sky out there?
You know what? I see a tiny bit. It's just like you can barely see it through the clouds. There's some like higher clouds. So yeah, I don't know what we're forecasted for, but yeah, it's just kind of like, what's really cool? I don't know if you can really see it because it's so kind of like a white out with the white background. But that new Moguls training hill. Now that's not going to be available for us. Okay, but when you see the profile of that, when you go up the gondola and you look at that, like it is just like crazy steep, but you can see the top of it up there. crazy. It's just it's pretty neat. That's pretty new this year.
Yeah, any of you mogul skiers out there, my goodness, the kneecaps on those people, right? Okay, Tricia, we're gonna come back to you here in just a minute, but before we do that, we are gonna take a break, and then we're gonna talk about what's going on over at Beaver Creek, as well as helping you maybe pick out a Valentine's Day gift over at Betteridge. So stay with us.
Hi, we are the ski injury attorneys at Block and Chapleau. If another skier or snowboarder hits you from behind and injures you, you are entitled to monetary compensation. Remember, the downhill skier has the right of way. The uphill skier has to avoid skiers below.
You need to call an attorney to protect your rights. It's important to preserve the evidence immediately. If you've been injured on the slopes, call Block and Chapleau today at 970-926-1700. We've been helping injured skiers and snowboarders in Colorado for over 30 years. Block and Chapleau has offices in the Vail Valley, Frisco, and Denver to serve you.
Your case is our priority. Call us at 970-926-1700 or go to vailjustice.com.
What does the future of strength look like? It's a personal trainer that assesses your strength and adds weight as you progress. It's dynamic weight that adjusts for you in real time for a more efficient workout. Come on! And it's a roster of coaches that motivates you to get stronger, faster. The future is strength you can feel and results you can see. And you can only experience it on Tonal.
This Weather and Mountain Report is brought to you by Betteridge. Fine jewelry and watches with exceptional service since 1897, located in Solaris.
All right, so we have snow in the forecast today. We did receive a little fresh snow in the last 24 hours, and depending on where you look, which we're looking at Vail.com and BeaverCreek.com. So Vail reported 2 inches in the last 24 hours. Beaver Creek reported 6 inches in the last 24 hours. And so, my go-to for, especially for winter weather, is OpenSnow.com. And so this is a team of meteorologists that are really just specifically dedicated to the mountains because, you can watch the news channels along the Front Range and obviously they're very smart. They do their best, but they're covering the entire state. And that the way that our mountains are, it can be really unpredictable, and the way that things shift and move for this area, it's just OpenSnow.com I just find to be the most accurate. So what Joel Gratz and his team are saying today is that because we have a lack of moisture in this system, that they're not expecting a whole lot of accumulation out of today. So you can see that according to OpenSnow.com, Beaver Creek reported 3 inches in the last 24 hours, Vail reporting 2 inches in the last 24 hours. So you got to make sure that you have your sources, right? You got to kind of take a look and see what everybody's reporting. So basically what we know, fresh snow did happen the last 24 hours. And looking ahead, we could maybe see another inch today, maybe a little bit more. Hopefully that's the case. And then for Thursday, for Friday, and for Saturday, we're not really looking at any fresh snow. And then maybe our next chance would be Sunday, we could see another inch. So this morning, kind of foggy, and we have that light snow falling out there. Overnight lows will be in the negatives for tonight and tomorrow night and Friday night. But look at those temperatures for Friday and Saturday. Clear, temperatures getting back into the 30s. So it's going to be another beautiful weekend ahead of us. So I like this. We're we have, the fresh snow leading into the weekends. That's really nice. And just for reference, for Vail, they're at 98% of their average snowpack right now. Beaver Creek is at 105 inches of their average snowpack. So that's definitely great news. And 97% of the terrain at Vail is currently open. They open their lifts at 8:30. They have 267 trails to enjoy and 24 of their 32 lifts open. And then at Beaver Creek, they open at 9 a.m. Over at Beaver Creek, though, there's some other really cool events that are going on. Now, each week they have complimentary events that take place. You can go to beavercreek.com/events to find out more about like Helmut Fricker. He's basically like the mascot of Beaver Creek and all of his Alpenhorn playing, and he does live music. And then also the caricatures, I think, are so cool that they do on Saturdays and also on Thursdays. So Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday from 4 to 6, you can do one of those. I always look forward to that as a little kid, right? Like so fun, really, really cute way to commemorate your time in the mountains with your family. And then also, since today is Wednesday, you'll find Helmut Fricker playing from 3 to 5 o'clock. So that's just a look at what's happening with the complimentary activities. Now, look at the upcoming events block there. You can kind of see that one. So we do have coming up on tomorrow, we have John Oates featuring Guthrie Trap at the Villar. Then on the 15th, the Little Smokies at the Villar. On the 20th, the Snowshoe Race Series. And then on February 26th through the 27th is Talon's Challenge. Okay, now Meredith and I were just talking about this in the studio. So she's contemplating doing Talon's Challenge. I have never done it. I've talked about it a lot, but I've never done it. So I'm curious, anybody watching, we would like to know if you've done it, if you have any tips to like prepare, because Meredith is trying to decide, like, is she going for it? Is she signing up? Is she not? So here's the deal: 14 black and double black diamond runs. So it's over 26,000 feet of vertical, and they are doing some like extra swag packages this year. So you can get some like heli gear, some backpacks, which is pretty cool. And so just go to beavercreek.com to register. But this is definitely a thigh burner, that is for sure. So I'm very curious, like what people have done to get ready to feel like they are confident that they are going to crush this challenge and not just totally eat it on all of those black runs and double black runs. So anyway, Talon's Challenge, that's coming up on February 26th and 27th. So give us your tips if you're watching on Facebook and on YouTube. Okay, let's see. Has Tricia done this? Let's check in with Tricia. I feel like Tricia's done like everything. So have you done Talon's Challenge?
You know what? I had back surgery, so I never did it after the back surgery. I've never done the Talon's Challenge either.
Well, don't feel bad. I've never done it either. I figure I've talked about it a lot. Like I've done the Talon's Challenge of talking about it. Like if there's
totally. I know, and then I get kind of like I should do it, and then I'm like, hey, remember when you had back surgery and before you had back surgery and it hurt? So, but I do have some tips that I've learned from people along the way.
Okay.
One of them is maybe since we have 2 days, it's Saturday and Sunday. I would maybe do it on Sunday. I think there might be less people doing it on Sunday. So that's one. That's just like a feeling. It's not a fact.
Okay.
You're doing the 14 runs. I would maybe do the 14 runs in a certain order. Like I would do the Loco Lupine Shooting Star. Those are the shorter blacks. I would do those last because then, your legs have already,
burnt
when you're
out.
fresh, do the longer ones. Do the longer runs when you're fresh. And then I don't think I would take a break to eat. I would have snacks. I'd have some water with me. Because you know how lunch goes, and then you got to go out afterwards.
That's a really good point, Tricia.
I would just, snacks. Wake up early, have a good breakfast, like a couple hours before you go out, and then the snacks. And then, when you're all done, hey, then have lunch, get that beer. You got the bragging rights, all that.
That is such a good point. I used to teach adult snowboarding over in Breckenridge, and it was so funny because every single time when I was teaching a lesson, I would be like, okay, guys, like, maybe go grab something like lighter, like some of the little yogurt things or like a salad or something light, right, for lunch. And, but I could always tell the people that went to have lunch and like had like a burger and beer and fries, because I called it snowboard belly, right? Because then all of a sudden, like the blood is rushing to your stomach to digest all that food and you're feeling lethargic. And like they'd be like walking and like zombies after lunch. It was so, I could always tell. I'd be like, you got that burger special, didn't you? Anyway, so that makes so much sense, right? Like, yeah, keep it light. Don't sit down until the very end. Don't do it.
Yeah. Just keep it going. Keep the momentum going, because then when you sit down and you get warm and, you change it up, like the mindset, it just switches at that.
All right, I like it.
But it should be a lot of fun, and that is cool that they have the different tiers for of payment of what you could pay, and it is a fundraiser for SOS Outreach, which does so much. They've been in our valley over 25 years now, and they started right over at Golden Peak. And, they started right here, just in our valley, but now they've expanded to year-round. They've expanded to different programs that include things beyond skiing and snowboarding as well. And I wonder where we are. We're in the little trail, the corridor, the path between Golden Peak, and we're right almost to the Partship Park. The Christiania Hotel is right here. You can see the pool. So people are kind of making their way. Some ski patrollers got their post over there. This couple was coming down in. So we were walking. We were going to take the bus, but we weren't sure how long it was going to be. So we just decided to walk and get our exercise. So we might have to pop into the Gorsuch Ski Cafe and warm up for a little bit.
That sounds really nice. Also, Dan Elliott says, good morning, ladies. And John says, good tips. Yes, Tricia. Like, see, right? You can always ask Tricia. Okay, well, listen, we're going to take another break. We'll let you guys go on into the ski cafe and show us what's going on there. But, Tricia, while you're doing that, you can listen. You guys keep walking. But we're talking, not only do we have Groundhog Day today, right? But we've got Valentine's Day. It's coming up. And, like if you need good gifts, I have a place for you. All right. So Tricia, you keep walking. You and Barry go. We'll come back to you here shortly. Okay. So guy, girl, whatever, you can find something amazing at Betteridge. They have beautiful brand new pieces that are like hard to find anywhere else in the world. They also have gorgeous estate jewelry, which always has a really cool story behind it. And then their watch selection is phenomenal. But of course, in order to learn about these pieces, you also have to have the great staff that can give you like the behind the scenes on what's going on with the jewelry. And that's where my buddy Lance comes in. And we call him the GOAT, the greatest of all time, because really, like every time we hang out with him, I learn something new. He's so good at it. So we're going to send things over to Lance to tell you more about Betteridge. And before we do that, Ken Nixon, thanks for all the great advice. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, Tricia Swinson, like girls, her brain is like the national treasure, like Vail Valley treasure, right? She always has something great to tell you about these experiences. I tell you what. Anyway, Ken, you're so welcome. And thank you to Tricia for that. So let's send things over to Lance to hopefully give us all some inspiration for Valentine's Day to just knock it out of the park.
We're talking Cartier watches with Lance from Betteridge. And this is one of your favorite topics. You love watches, especially Cartier.
Watches, Cartier, yes to everything you just said. I enjoy watches tremendously, and we're lucky enough to have an incredible collection of watches. Cartier, IWC, Panerai, Bell & Ross, JLC, Rolex, Tudor, blah, 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 blah. I could keep going, but we're going to talk about just Cartier today.
All right, and we have a few we're going to show you. We're going to start with this one.
So we're going to start with this one a little bit. I think the history on this company is very important. Cartier started in 1847, first and foremost a jeweler. That's what they're known for. So their pieces are very aesthetically pleasing, honestly. It's more like a beautiful piece of jewelry that happens to tell time.
Yeah.
That's very important when you talk about Cartier, and that's what this is about. And the interesting thing about this one is this is actually the Santos. This started in the early 1900s is when they first started making this piece here.
Okay.
This is called the Santos De Cartier. This one is in all steel.
Wow.
It has a blue dial.
Okay.
And this actually bracelet comes off, and you can transfer it and put it onto a leather strap.
Okay, so a little versatility there.
Little versatility. That's an automatic movement, meaning the wrist, your movement of your wrist will do it, change it. This is called the Santos Dumont, another version of this, a little dressier. This is a slimmer piece. This one is done in steel and gold. So that one makes it a little more wearable, a little more dressy.
Yeah, I love that.
And this one comes in 3 different sizes, a beautiful alligator strap with that one.
All right.
Okay, we're going to talk one more men's watch before we get into some ladies' pieces. This one's very unique. This one is a very much a dress piece. This is done in 18-karat rose gold with a brown alligator on it. Some of the things that you see on this dial, it has that guilloche, that kind of starburst dial that's happening there.
Yep.
You also have Roman numerals, which is very, very Cartier. There is a date, and there's also a power reserve, that little function on the bottom. When that is fully wound, that moves over, and you get your watch is fully wound.
Okay.
I know, it's very cool.
Yeah,
very
just
Cartier.
the mechanics of it is amazing. Ooh, look at this one.
This one's beautiful. This one's called the Panther, and this is something that they introduced probably 50 years ago. This one is done in 18-karat gold with a diamond bezel. This is a quartz movement, meaning it's a battery. It's very easy to take care of. And there is a diamond in the crown on this one as well.
Wow, yeah, you can see it right on the side.
Very cool.
Oh, I love the detail.
It is. Very, very traditional piece.
Okay.
And one last one. We just got this one in, so I wanted to show it off a little bit.
Wow.
This is one of their newest collections, the Bull on Blue. It's done very well for them. It's a round collection with a covered crown. This is done in solid 18-karat rose gold, diamond bezel, and this is an automatic movement in this one as well. So the movement of your wrist is going to wind this thing for you.
Okay, amazing. Oh my gosh, I would be telling you the time all day long if I was wearing one of these.
Even if it's wrong, right?
Yeah. Oh, just amazing. And watches, they're collector items. They're something you could pass down.
Absolutely.
They're investments.
Yep, they are absolutely that, especially the passing down. We see that all the time. This is something I want my son to have. This is something I want my daughter to have. And that is very true, especially when you talk about pieces like Rolex and Cartier, that type of heritage you can just hand down to them.
Okay, well, you can come in and talk watches all day long with Lance. You guys are here.
We are here 10 to 6. We're down on the lowest level of Solaris, right next to the ice rink.
Okay, check it out.
In the extraordinary, we're free to discover more together. Experience it for yourself this winter. Get your lift tickets today.
Winter is coming, and you can enjoy every minute with Outside Plus, your membership to the outdoors. Whether you're exploring the backcountry or your local trails, Outside Plus has you covered. With expert advice on gear, product discounts, premium access to Outside TV and the Gaia GPS app, and inspiring content delivered from the most respected names in the outdoors. Become an Outside Plus member today to get free tickets and VIP access to this year's Warren Miller film. Join at warrenmiller.com/Outside Plus.
We love our new home. Lots of windows, great light.
But the birds. They're back.
Yes, I hear them.
Uh-oh. Why are these birds so angry?
At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
We save a lot.
I'm going. Ah!
Hurry!
I know.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
This Weather and Mountain Report is brought to you by Live Sotheby's International Realty, Colorado's leading real estate firm. Contact their Vail Valley broker professionals today to help you live the life you love.
Well, it's going to be pretty chilly today, although I must say it was very pleasant that I woke up and it said 12 degrees in Eagle compared to -1 on Monday when I was getting ready to do the show. But it's not going to get like a whole lot warmer than that. So our highs in Avon around 20 degrees today. Same thing for Edwards, looking at Eagle, 24 degrees. And then, if you're going to be in Vail, it's going to be more in the upper teens. So we are going to be seeing some wind out there, and also look at those overnight lows around -9, but it's going to feel like -16 tonight. So if you do have plans to be outside, bundle up. That's going to be important. And then we're kind of waiting to see what happens with this storm, right? So early in the week, we were thinking that it was going to be pretty big. We're going to be seeing like some really good accumulation. And granted, Beaver Creek did say that they got 6 inches last night, and Vail received 2 inches last night. But according to OpenSnow.com this morning, Joel Gratz is saying that he's not really expecting a whole lot of accumulation because of the lack of moisture associated with this system. So we will see what happens in the next 24 hours. But basically, we're looking at a very similar forecast for today and for tomorrow, with those temperatures staying in the upper teens and then overnight lows in the negatives. It looks like tomorrow's going to start to dry out a little bit. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nice and clear. Beautiful weekend ahead. Temperatures rebounding back into the 30s. And a lot of terrain open to enjoy at both Vail and Beaver Creek. So 97% of the terrain is open at Vail. They have 48 inches currently for their season to date, 51-inch base, and they start opening their lifts at 8:30 this morning. Also, just keep an eye out. So coming up, and it was going to be at the end of February, they were going to change their hours. Now it's been pushed back to March 13th. They're going to be doing it at 9, from 9 to 4. So just know that that will be changing along with daylight savings time. And then as we go Sotheby's for that. Let's send things over to our girl Tricia Swenson. She was saying that she might go into the Gorsuch. Oh, you did it. You did. Oh, shoot. Oh, Tricia, you're frozen, but you look real cute. And I love. Oh, wait, there. Oh. Yeah, no, we got to have you guys refreshed, but I love where this is going. This whole beanie situation is amazing. Okay, so we'll come back to Tricia. We'll let them kind of refresh and get things back on track there for a second. But in the meantime, I wanted to tell you about this really cool little spot. It has opened in Eagle Ranch. It's called Knapp Harvest, and it's basically like the spot to gather to enjoy everything from Knapp Ranch. And there's a beautiful coffee table book all about Knapp Ranch. And the owners of Knapp Ranch used to be the owners of Condé Nast. So maybe you have enjoyed some of their magazines over the years. Well, they ultimately got out of that business and got into the ranching business. And so they make their own honey. They do a CSA, so like a community share where you can pay and get fresh organic produce every week. But anyway, Knapp Harvest is basically, it's the result of this incredible ranch. And there's so much more in there that you wouldn't expect to find. So we sent our girl Sarah to find out more about some of these really cool products that they carry.
I'm here with Carrie Hogan at Knapp Harvest in Eagle Ranch. Such a great spot, supporting local producers, and as we're talking all about love in February, really talking about loving our community and our planet.
Yes, absolutely. We really believe that at Knapp Ranch and Knapp Harvest is we are part of the nature, and we really need to remember that and our piece of that. And we have so many products that really help. This Swedish dish towels, for instance, these take the place of sponges. They take the place of paper towels. I've got 2 or 3 of them. They last months. And then you could throw them in the dishwasher when you've got a full load. So that really helps with paper towels. We've got all sorts of bees wrap. So instead of using plastic bags and things like that, you can use this, and it's also made with beeswax. So very, very good for the planet.
Such a great idea. You know, you think about the impact, if we can just make a few choices each day to reduce that footprint, it makes such a huge difference.
It does. Your money speaks, and you have a choice of where to spend it and how to spend it. So the power is with you. And I think that's really beautiful because we can make a difference starting with ourselves.
Absolutely. And then this jewelry gives back as well.
I love this. So we have lots of little jewelry things, but they give back to the planet for different causes. And we just think that's wonderful. So these are the kind of vendors that we seek out because they are part of our ethos of sustainability, give back to the earth.
That's great. And then the seed bombs, of course, we have to protect the pollinators.
Oh,
such an important part of the food
absolutely.
chain. And looking into spring, these look so fun.
Is this fun or what? Seed bombs. I love this idea. And again, you know, Knapp Ranch and Knapp's Nectar manages 20 hives up and down the valley. So to us, it's really important that people are out there helping these bees. They're looking for water. They're looking for pollinator plants. don't poison your dandelions. That's the very first food that bees go to. And when you use Monsanto Roundup, you are killing the bees. So please don't do that.
So important to protect the pollinators, support local, and support some great causes.
Absolutely.
All right here in the Valley. Thank you so much,
You're
Carrie.
welcome. It's a pleasure.
I mean, so cool. They have so many different products in there that you wouldn't necessarily think of when you first walk in the door. And you know, it's amazing. When I worked in Boulder, I was doing their news for the city, and I learned so much about bees and also ways that we can, well, how important they are and the ways that we can support them. So I love the little like seed bomb thing. That's really cool. So anyway, check out Knapp Harvest if you have a chance. Now, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some art in public places. And if you've ever been to Vail, you've probably noticed, and maybe you haven't, it's just kind of part of the atmosphere, all of the different ways that they really invest in public art, and it just adds to this incredible experience when you're in Beaver Creek, when you're in Vail, and all of the surrounding areas. So we're going to learn a little more about that. And also, if you were wondering, I'm gonna spoiler alert, but Punxsutawney Phil did see his shadow this morning. So we are in for 6 more weeks of winter, which we are very excited about. And of course, we do have that fresh snow in the forecast. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll check in with Tricia, and we'll find out a little bit more about some public art. And we still have a little bit more headed your way on this Wednesday edition of Vail Valley Live.
Start the new year out right with Knapp Harvest. Mushrooms have been named the top ingredient of the year by the New York Times, and we have them in all shapes and sizes. Honey continues to be a hot topic for health, so stock up with Knapp's Nectars. Knapp Harvest, your indoor farmers market, open 7 days a week.
Treat your dog to delicious, nutritious dog food. Specialty items and high-quality gear for dogs who love to get outside and play. Do-it-yourself dog washing and grooming services now available. Mountain Canine, the dog-friendliest shop in the Vail Valley.
This Weather and Mountain Report is brought to you by Carrots Jewelers, creating heirlooms for over 50 years.
They really do create some very cool pieces at Carrots. If you haven't been in before, Dan Talene and his whole team, they're so dedicated and they're just really talented. And I love that it's a working studio gallery, right? So we went in there and we were asking Dan, he has like a card file. It looks like something like out of a library. And we were asking about it and he said, oh, that's how I keep track of all the pieces that I've made. It's like a regular, like you go through like the cards. Anyway, amazing, just a little piece of history, and it's currently producing beautiful work. So another great option for Valentine's Day gifts if you haven't been to Carrots. So for our weather today, snow in the forecast this morning. We've been seeing Tricia out there with the light snowflakes falling. Also, what's funny is I'm looking out our windows here along I-70 in Eagle Vale, and I can see the traffic backed up. It's moving like maybe 5 miles. Yeah, Mary, you see that? Because I can see this semi just barely slowly moving. And I've been getting some EC alerts, so ecalert.org. But apparently there was an accident in Avon, so traffic has been backed up. You can see it in Dowd Junction on that bottom right-hand screen that traffic is definitely starting to stack up. You're going to see a lot. though you can see that blacktop, you got to take it nice and easy because it is slow going out there. Oh man, yeah, I can see like the traffic is backed up all the way. Yep. So it's going to be one of those kind of days. If you can avoid being on the roads, probably a good day to do that. Now that snow is predicted throughout the entire day today, but Joel Gratz has kind of amended what we were predicting earlier in the week, that we could see like some really big numbers out of this storm. And we did, Beaver Creek did report 6 inches in the last 24 hours, Vail 2 inches, but he's saying that because there's not a whole lot of moisture, that he's not really expecting a whole lot more of accumulation out of this system. So just expect those clouds, some light snow throughout the rest of the day today, and those very cold temperatures overnight tonight. But as we go into the weekend, a lot of sunshine back in the forecast, very much like this. Our girl Rachel doing some shredding over at Beaver Creek. So expect these to be very similar conditions to what you're going to find on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. We might see maybe a little bit more snow out there on Sunday, but you can see the coverage is really good. Beaver Creek is 92% open right now, and they're at 105% of their average snowpack for this season. So that's great news. And, you know, even the catwalks, right? Like they're looking pretty good out there. And currently they have 24 of 25 lifts open and 156 trails to enjoy of their 169. So I love seeing what's actually happening out there on the slopes. And and then, of course, you know, getting a little bit of air, impressing your friends. And then if you're going to be going over to Vail, again, great coverage there as well right now. They have 98% of their average snowpack for this season, and Vail is 97% open with 260 trails to enjoy and 24 of their 32 lifts operating. Also, Vail's opening at 8:30 and Beaver Creek opens at 9. All right. Awesome footage, Rachel. Nice work. I like seeing that out there. I haven't been out on the slopes in a minute, so it's nice to see that. Okay, let's send things out. Tricia is live with Molly, and they're going to tell us a little bit more about the beautiful art that you're going to find throughout Vail and the dedication to making this a staple in our community. So I'm very curious to learn a little bit more about art in public places. All right, ladies, take it away.
Okay, Ashley, thanks so much. Yes, we do have Molly Eppard here, and she's with the Town of Vail Art in Public Places program, and they're starting their art tours again. So this is going to be always pretty much every other Wednesday.
The first and third Wednesdays of each month.
Okay.
Yes.
All the way through the first part of April.
The first part of April, correct.
Okay. All right, you can do that at 11.
Yes, at 11 o'clock at the Vail Welcome Center, which is just above the transportation here in Vail Village.
Okay, so the very top level. You can go in there. There's a bathroom in there. The parking is all right there. You have 2 hours of free parking, too. So if you want to take the tour and hang out for a little bit, that's another tip.
Exactly. So the tour is really just a leisurely walking tour through Vail Village, and it takes approximately an hour. Might be a little faster today with the temperatures. We'll see about 25 works of art throughout the town, including works in the Town of Vail's public art collection, some of the private developments, some street integrated art, so everything from our trash bins to the sewer grates, to sculptures and murals, and also the Winterfest ice installation, which is special this time of year.
Well, and you know what? The reason we decided to start here, this is the Bridge Street bus stop. And this mural has been around for quite a few decades now, but it has a local tie-in with our school children and with some of our Olympians.
Exactly. So it was the local Lutheran minister, Don Symington, and his wife went to the children of the Vail Valley, taught them the history of the valley. The children drew small little images from what they learned, and then a group of local artists, including Randy Milhon, the Somerville Workshop, they enlarged those images and then compiled the mural to tell that history. So everything closer to
So,
Ute
yeah.
Indians.
I love the fish. I love all the fish in the sea. Yep, and then the Ute Indians, the kind of the ancestors of the valley, the rainbow.
Get to the pioneering skiers.
Okay, that they've got the big stick to pioneer. Okay.
The ranching, the sheep farming, the hunting, and the 10th Mountain Division soldier.
Okay, yeah.
The fun element of the starting of Vail Mountain and the town as we know it.
The covered bridge. Okay.
Clock Tower and that first gondola that really dropped into the heart of Vail Village when we opened for mountain operations in 1962. But it also has Windian connections.
Yes, and you know what? The bus just came, so let's keep. Oh, the bus is already going. Okay, yeah. So the kids who were in school at the time, so this was dedicated So the kids that were in school, Toby Dawson, 2006 Olympian, Sarah Schlepper, still an Olympian,
right?
Carrie Donovan,
also.
and probably a lot of your friends and neighbors were maybe artists in this. So this is going on, but we're gonna walk and talk, and we're gonna go over to the 10th Mountain Division. So when you meet with Molly, she's gonna take you on these tours, and you could stop and of course ask questions, right?
Oh, absolutely. And that's kind of the beauty of working for the town of Vail. You learn a lot about everything from the master planning, the streetscape, and kind of the ins and outs.
Tell me about view corridors.
Yes, so we have a number of protected view corridors throughout the town, and we do see a couple of those on the tour. And it's something a lot of people don't realize, but these are vistas that we've identified that be obstructed with construction.
Okay.
So a lot of them are mountain vistas at the Gore Range for the front side of it.
Yeah.
One of our favorites.
But the subtle view corridors, of course, were planned by the town. Well, come on over, Barry. Check it out. The 10th Mountain Division, I think they're like the second or third most photographed spot in Vail.
It may be one of the most photographed, I would say.
Yeah.
But honoring our 10th Mountain Division soldiers, our founders, obviously, in the development of the ski industry in general, and contributions to the war efforts, and also present military serving in the 10th Mountain Division.
Yeah, and we've got, those legacy parades that have been happening. Mm-hmm. We also have the big legacy weekend coming up, President's Day weekend. So kind of need to brush up on the history right here. All right, anything else?
Okay, a little tidbit of how thoughtfully he is placed. We actually have him oriented as if he were marching up Riva Ridge. Yeah. So if you notice in that direction where he's facing, it's looking towards that longest ski run on Vail Mountain.
Okay, named after the Battle of Riva Ridge, a pivotal point in World War II. Ashley, any questions?
Oh, sorry. Honestly, Meredith and I were just both like, this is awesome. This is so cool. I had no idea about the bus stop and the art. And I mean, this is just so fascinating. So again, Molly, like first and third Wednesdays, how do I sign up to do this? This is so cool.
We don't have a sign up. We ask that you come to the Vail Village Welcome Center be a few minutes before 11 o'clock so we can start promptly. And so we're in good days and happy to take everyone on the tours.
Yeah, and then real quick, the Winterfest, that's the ice sculptures that are down by Gore Creek. They're still intact, right? It's been cold.
And I looked at the weather for the next couple weeks. I think we'll be in good shape.
Okay, yeah, and those are illuminated at night, and of course they're really cool during the day too. So from the cover bridge, you would just go down and then go to the Gore Creek Promenade, and you can easily find them, or they're right next to the International Bridge too.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, the art and public places, the Wednesday art walks are back, first and third Wednesdays of the month.
Oh, so awesome. Thank you, Tricia. Thank you, Molly. That is so incredibly cool. I'm feeling like I got to go along and just kind of see a little preview of the tour. So
we do have an interactive map on our website.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you know what else is?
Yeah.
What else is really cool is I was looking at their website yesterday, and the interactive map really showed like all the neighborhoods have art
in the playgrounds.
With them. Yeah, in the playgrounds.
Right, and so the website artvail.com does have the interactive map, and it's you can access it from your smartphone too, so you can take that tour and identify these works of art throughout the entire town of Vail, from West Vail to East Vail.
Before Molly told me about that, this is oriented towards, Riva Ridge, that's where we did it. I thought they were going to say, well, we put his hand down here so you can hold it.
That happens.
Oh my gosh. I like it. All right, you two. Well, thank you for incredible advice. And I love that website too, because we have so many people that are watching that don't live here in town. So thank you for that. So artandvail.com. I'm going to check that out. So thank you to Tricia and Molly. That was really fun. All right, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll be closing out this Wednesday edition of Vail Valley Live. So stay with us.
In the extraordinary, we're free to discover more together. Experience it for yourself this winter. Get your lift tickets today.
Get more information at VailYetiHockey.com. Go Yeti!
Vail Valley Live outerwear provided by Skea Limited.
Oh man, I tell you what, just having a great time here in the studio with Mare and with all of you. Thank you for joining us on this 2022 show. And thank you to Puxatawny Phil for predicting 6 more weeks of winter. We will take it. And also thank you to my girl Tricia that sent it out to her one last time before we close out the show. And I tell you what, I was just looking on that website for the public art in Vail. So cool. Tricia, that was fascinating. I love learning about all of that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I still got Molly here because we've been talking about so many things. Yeah, you know what? I love learning about these things because it's so subtle. And the fact that Vail really pays a lot of attention and prioritizes.
We do. And I think what's going to be interesting with these particular walks is we're able to tie in one of our most recent murals by La Cantina by Olive Moya, who was the visual artist who actually designed the shapes for Winterfest.
Yes.
So people will be able to make that connection on these art walks.
Okay, so I've showed you guys the Olive Moya murals right inside of the transportation center. They're really colorful, and it's got that crepe Suzette, that little bar that I think who
the
was
iceberg.
the
Bill
iceberg.
Whiteford.
Bill Whiteford, scoundrel. That's what they call him. But he would set it up, and then doors would shut him down, and he would set it up again. And he was a funny guy.
Well, and I think the Forest Service ended up shutting it down all because he had umbrellas that advertised foreign liqueurs.
Yes.
Which he wasn't supposed to do.
You should have just put Budweiser on there.
Could have lasted
Curse
longer.
and Curse Light. Colorado Kool-Aid, and he would have been fine.
So it's fun to bring that mural together with the Winterfest.
Yeah. So just enhance your trip and take this tour. It's today, and then the next one won't be till for 2 weeks. So I'll put a little thing. Even locals, you can learn something on this.
I think locals learn a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea that there were protected corridors for line of sight. Like that's so incredibly, the view corridors. I just learned that today. All right, you two, listen, you're freezing a little bit, like it's getting a little jittery. So we're going to let you go. But Molly, thank you. And Tricia, thank you so much. And again, artinvail.com. So if you're like me, like I've got to head to my next job after this. And if you can't be there live for that tour, you can do that virtual tour and learn all about it if you're watching from somewhere across the country. But thank you to all of you for joining us on this February 2nd show. We'll be back here live at 7:30 tomorrow morning.